So are we just going to keep adding hosts to this podcast, or is this not a podcast? Or can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you. I think we're still figuring it out.
Okay.
They cut the hard line. There's no time. You're going to have to get to another exit.
See a set of keys around here.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time for
podcast.
I can't be bothered with that. I have no time for that sort of nonsense.
Recorded July 18th.
So Peter should be here. Let's see. Maybe try to. It says 5.
I do have one of those scary
I forgot to.
horse head.
I forgot to add him. Here it comes. Whoops. Too busy talking.
Oh, that's right. I forgot his
Hotmail account.
email is olds84. Yeah. He still has his Hotmail account. What the fuck, dude?
I still have one.
He's still surfing the MySpaces.
Are you mocking me?
Yeah.
No, you just broadcasted to the world what your email address was.
Yeah, I don't care. Why would I change it?
I'd forgotten your email was olds84@hotmail.com. I'm like, why the fuck do you still have a Hotmail account? Like,
what's the point? Why does it matter? Like, what is? Why does the domain of your email address matter?
It shows you how cool you are.
Yeah, street cred. Thank you, TD.
Let's just say there's.
It's not GeoCities. Come on.
Yeah, no one has made a new Hotmail account in 25 years.
Yeah, that's about how old mine is. I'm failing to miss the point.
How much spam in there?
Oh, I don't really get any.
You'd have to log into it to know.
I log in all the time. Thank you very
that's
much.
precisely why I still have it, so that I can be like, oh, I think these people are going to spam me. You get my Hotmail account instead of my real account.
Well, that's what
I don't
Pete
get
did to the
like
rest
any
of us.
junk mail. I get like none.
No,
That's
you
awesome.
have a junk mail folder. You probably don't know where it is.
It says junk email. I actually know right where it is.
Yeah, but I
it's-
think they actually changed it too on me once or twice.
The name of the folder?
Yeah, like okay, there used to be like an actual junk email folder and then like a spam folder that they created, and somehow they got conflated, or I don't know. Hotmail's a mystery to me now.
Oh man, are you in Novosibirsk, Russia? There?
Yeah, I'm in the Northern Lights.
He's
I'm up at the Bemidji. I'm
are you
in the
taking
Midge.
pictures of the
Beautiful.
comet?
Do you want me to
Beautiful.
turn it off? There's a lot of crap behind me.
No, I just like wow. That's I like the background. I have a green screen behind me, but sadly, it's actually a green wall. That's all it is. Nothing more exciting than that.
I want to find a backgrounder that's just like boobs and bikinis.
You're being recorded.
This is the
That's not true. It's all wieners behind you.
From live feed from Hidden Beach at Cedar Lake.
is that where they caught him with the drones?
Yep.
The park board was supposed to vote on Wednesday about the public nudity thing. I never heard anything about the final outcome.
They were fine with it. It's okay.
Oh, they're good with it. Okay,
Yeah.
I figured as much.
Double thumbs up
Double thumbs up. Nice.
from the park board.
Yes.
Are you get rolling or what?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you gonna
I
do
do
the
have-
Are you
I
gonna do
have
the intro this
background
time?
envy.
Yeah. Well, you can switch it. There's an option
I'm
somewhere.
looking.
I was fucking
Yeah.
around. Sorry, language.
Yeah, come on.
Will Zoom kick you off if you swear too much?
I'll give you there's your thumbs up right there.
Ooh.
Wow, you are a pro.
No, there's like 2. I can also
I don't-
clap. That's about all.
I don't know where any of this stuff is.
Well, when your kids had to do Zoom for school, you learned all the things.
Yes.
So
Hold on. I'm gonna use Metacrawler to look up how to change your Zoom background.
I think you meant Lycos.
Like,
So who's gonna do the intro this time? Todd did such a good job last time. He should probably do it
Didn't
again. Yeah, that was
I should
nice.
probably listen to that one of these days.
Oh, Pete listened.
Bishop, what did your mom think?
Yeah, we need,
What did your mom think?
We need your mom report. What did she think?
She loves our podcast. She thinks I swear too much, but you know.
No, I don't care about the whole podcast. What did she just think of my episode? That's
It's my mom and Hasky. Those are our viewers.
and that's our audience.
That's our audience.
He's willing to listen to you after the Facebook fights?
What's that?
He's willing to listen to you after the Facebook fights?
Oh, no,
Dust
Hasky
ups,
doesn't talk to
dust
me,
ups.
but you know, I don't want to talk to Hasky either, so that's fine. I wish him the best. I love the guy. Like, I wish him and Sophie and their kids all the happiness in the world. I just do not agree with his politics or his way of thinking about the world, which is fine. You can do that. You can disagree.
This just got really serious.
Yeah, we're cutting this out. That never happened.
No, that's
all
I mean,
right.
Hassie's going to listen to this, so I mean, hopefully,
Pete never got to introduce the podcast, so go ahead, Pete. Go for it. It's no time for blah blah blah. Do it now.
We have a lot of people on here today, so welcome to No Time for Podcasts with everybody, including Michael Schwartz.
Hello, Michael Schwartz.
The virgin to the podcast.
Hello.
Yes, look at my background now.
Wow.
Not a virgin in any other way, but
No.
I was going to comment, but it's been a while.
Thank you for saying yes.
To what?
yeah, again, that goes back to that virgin comment, I think.
It does.
My pleasure. All right, Jeremy, how did you meet Michael?
We knew each other back when he first still lived here, like back when we were in elementary school, middle school, before you moved to Bemidji. But then we didn't become friends until freshman year in college.
15, yeah.
Yeah. Probably like 95, 96. Like he would come down to visit Peter at college, and we used to drink, what was those grenade beers, the Mickey's. Like he'd come down with like a bunch of Mickey's, and you had a pickup truck, I think, at that time. And you'd always have like
Grenade. We drank the Mickey's grenades. Yes.
Yeah, the Mickey's grenades.
And,
and
pick 'em up truck?
Yeah, I just remembered for some reason drinking them out of the back of your pickup truck. Like I think you had a pickup truck.
I had a really cool bed cover, one of those full fiberglass bed covers that like acts like a trunk almost. Yeah. And I would put little contraptions in there that would hold the liquor properly so that it wouldn't slide around and break potentially. So Mickey's grenades for whatever reason, and I think like a host of other things like Keystone Light and
there's Keystone. That was Keystone Light.
Some other classics like that. Whatever was really at the low end of the price scale, because when you're an underage drinker, money's usually not at your beck and call, and also your buyers get what you get. You can make requests, but you just have to get what you get sometimes. So,
but I think we met that year, but I think we all really bonded at your dad's wedding to Jane. That was where we all kind of like, I just remember that wedding is we drank a lot. I remember the security guard kept taking our beers away, and then we just pull new ones out of our pockets, and he'd come back and he'd be like, dude, you guys have beers again. And it's like, you can't drink those. We're like, no, we're okay. We just drink them as fast as we could. And then he'd take those away, and we'd pull another one out of our pockets. Cause Schwartz had a trunk full of, I think it was that was Keystone Light, I think, was at the
very well good. Yeah.
And then we were drinking, we were at the table with your sister and a few other people, and we drank our bottles of wine down. And then when they would call table by table to go up and get food from the buffet, and we would go to those tables and exchange our empty bottles of wine for their full bottles of wine and bring them back to our tables and drink those. And then we found the lady, I think Pete, like, cause he was always good at, meeting people. And he befriended some lady, and she was buying beers for us until the bar figured out that she was buying a lot of beers, and we were drinking a lot of beers. And so she got cut off. So we got some responsible adult, well, not responsible because she was buying us beers, but semi-responsible adult. We got her cut off, and then we danced a lot, and we went back to the hotel, and that's where my memory fades until I woke up the following morning laying in a lounge chair in the corner of the hotel room, and there was just pizza boxes all over the floor. And but after that, we were all like best friends.
Don't like everywhere.
Yeah, sounds like a good night.
I do have a brief memory of, I believe, urinating off the balcony of the hotel room.
Are you sure that was that wedding?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably
all.
That didn't just happen once.
Downtown St. Paul on Jackson Street.
Oh yeah, nice. I have a follow-up question. Michael, you have a sister?
I'm gonna go on mute.
Well, I'm
really just waiting for Todd to sit down in his chair more than anything, killing time. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Oh,
hey.
Oh, hey, guy.
Just making some connections.
My question is it her birthday?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since you've had a birthday.
Does she have any hobbies?
We got together. Every time we got together, and alcohol was somehow a part of things, it was my sister's birthday. And that could have been like consecutive days back to back. It was always
at the same
messages.
bar, yeah. And people were
At the
very
same bar.
excited. Yeah.
And if there was some sort of PA system, whether it be from a band that was playing there, or we just found out that there was a way to announce it over the PA system or try to get somebody to say it, we would figure out a way to make sure the whole bar knew that it was Kelly Schwartz's birthday. Wherever we were at, it didn't matter.
I mean, there's a follow-up to Happy Birthday, Kelly Schwartz.
I'm not sure what that is.
The best example of that was I don't remember which New Year's it was. It was a New Year's though, and we were at the that brewery bar that's downtown Minneapolis, Rock Bottom. I think it's called. Yeah, and there was a live band in there, and we were sitting at a table, and I sent up a request to wish Kelly Schwartz a happy birthday with the follow-up line, which is "Happy Birthday, Kelly Schwartz." She likes. Oh no, I didn't send it to the band. They said "Happy Birthday, Kelly Schwartz," and then I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "She likes to hump." And the band, like it was just this like.
I believe we're starting off with this.
This silence across the room, and then the band lead singer went into the microphone and just goes, "Is that true, Kelly?" And if there wouldn't have been so many people, and Schwartz wouldn't have been across the table from me, basically like stuck in there, like it was up to like his waist, like he was just shoved into the table, I think he would have jumped the table and killed me at that moment.
Just fist of fury.
Yeah.
But by that time, like anything kind of went. I feel like in our lives, we the things that were said to each other. I think that our skin, each of us as individuals, our skin was getting thicker, and we started to realize that it was fair game. Pretty much anything that we would say to each other. So
I'd like to personally apologize for lots of things I've said over the years.
I apologized 19 years ago. So
I think that
well, you're bigger, man.
We're not 12-stepping, guys. We're not 12-stepping it. Not yet. All right.
No,
this quarantine's not over yet.
There was a window of those years in our 20s when we could say those things to each other. Like that's something that like if I were to say that now, like we were to go out now to a bar and I were to yell that, like that's very inappropriate.
Well, you're 43, so maybe that's part of it.
It might also be nostalgic at the same time, so you might be able to get away with it.
That's true. There,
Quite frankly, we just weren't nice to each other.
Yeah, no, we were.
No.
Why
at all?
Why we're still friends? I have no idea.
No.
It's mostly Jeremy's fault.
I'm still not going to apologize to you, Bruiser, but
What
Why start
everybody
now?
else, I'm sorry.
What did I do? What did I
That's what my old man said every time I called you a.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that word here.
We have said some inappropriate things over the years.
No.
Yes.
Peter's father has said some very inappropriate things over the years.
Mostly, that's a different podcast.
Yeah,
That's
that's an adult X-rated podcast.
That's a Patreon waiting to happen. You got to pay for that one.
I'm going to act like I know what that means.
It's not Twitch. It's something else, but
Oh.
Something your kids would know about.
It's another reason to be glad your kids don't have access to your credit card info.
My kid doesn't need it. He slings meth. Don't you remember? He's rolling in cash.
Thought it was Molly.
He's also got an OnlyFans channel. Is that what you're saying? Cutting that out as well.
When are we going to start recording?
Do you have any other questions you'd like to ask the internet, Pete?
Old man asks the internet questions. Go ahead, Peter.
Why did I?
Who is this guy behind me?
Yeah, with nice Post Malone backdrop there.
You like that?
Look at you figuring things out over there.
He pleases me for some reason, so I thought I'd throw that out
Post
there.
Malone.
It's like it's like a cautionary tale, right?
You know he's not a yacht rock musician, right?
I'm quite aware.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
He's on his way there.
Do you think he could do it though?
He killed Nirvana. I don't know if you
talented.
guys. When he was on, right when the quarantine started, he did like a live concert
From a yacht?
and not from a yacht, just in his house, and he did like a ton of Nirvana stuff. It was amazing. Just him and
I
like
heard
Travis
some of that.
Barker and somebody else.
That was where he started before he took off. Like
He was in
used to
Nirvana?
he used to do like shows at local bars and stuff, and he would just do cover songs of like Nirvana and old punk bands, but he'd do like the acoustic slowed down version, you know.
Yeah, this was not acoustic. This was just rocking. It was amazing.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. I've seen if you go on YouTube, at least there used to be some stuff of his stuff before where it was just him and an acoustic guitar, and it was actually pretty decent covers.
It's the only reason I'm in touch with anything from the last 20 years is because of my 12-year-old.
Whoa.
Here's the new background.
That's the album cover.
I know some of those people.
Yeah.
Is that guy smoking a joint in the middle there?
Oh, yeah. Hey, wow.
Who's that guy with khaki pants on?
Wait, Schwartz, is that you at the top? Or is that something else?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's Schwartz.
Oh, wow.
God, it looks like a fucking Dockers commercial.
Bad idea, jeans.
Yeah.
We should recreate that. Pete, you got to grow out your hair a little bit, though.
Okay.
You got to have dreads.
That's the one thing you notice is that I need to grow out my hair out of everything. Really?
Oh, wait, you're there. No, I was talking. You got to be the guy with the dreads the next time.
Oh no, that's Chris, right, Bruiser?
Yeah, that's Chris Benson, my old neighbor, my childhood neighbor. He's still rocking it in his mom's basement 25 years later.
Wow.
So
You got the dreads?
Yeah, I don't know if he has the dreads now. He did like 3 years ago. Last time I saw him, him and his mom came down to Northfield when my mom was visiting. And we
There's
had
a good
lunch.
chance he still got him then.
Yeah, but his hair had thinned. He looked older. Like I'm starting to look old now, but he looked older than me, and he's almost 10 years younger than I am.
Wow.
And yeah, his life was. It's not been bad to him, but it's not treated him the best either. But yeah, he's a good kid. I mean, him and his mom just, they survived together. I think when his dad basically abandoned him, he just stayed with his mom, and they're still there.
What's everybody drinking?
Into really a somber mood.
Yeah. No, I'm trying not to talk about depressing things, and I keep getting thrown into them. And so I'm trying to like I start to think I think like two sentences out from what I'm going to say, and I'm like,
stupid.
I can't say that. Like,
he got in a horrible car accident. And, well,
yeah.
the kid didn't get to know him, so maybe that's a good thing. He was too young.
I can't see my.
I know the backgrounds are terrible. I
got
I got to hold it in front of
Director
me.
Barry.
It's too early for me. I'm gonna.
I already knocked down my new Glarus spotted cow.
Do you have a backup?
And, no.
How do you still have more? Did you get more spotted cow? How do you keep getting the spotted cow?
I know people. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
They live in
can't get it
Hudson.
for the life of me.
He can only get me cans this time, so
No bottles.
no bottles.
Why? Because you're on the boat all the time. No glass.
Yeah, that's me. Hence my pale
we're
skin.
dads, so you have those rules.
Yeah, well, no bottles on the boat. That's an obvious rule. Yeah.
This is just me and mom.
But this is true though. You can drink in vehicles in Texas. At least Peter believed that.
I didn't doubt. Yeah, I wasn't gonna challenge it.
Did you look it up on the internet before you went?
Not a lot of people. There wasn't a smartphone back then. Let's be clear. That was a long time ago.
Al Gore hadn't invented them yet.
It fit my narrative of I want to drink. So.
And I'm on a large SUV. Let's just do this.
And I'm not driving, so what's the worst that could happen? Even though it's my parents' vehicle.
Are we gonna change your background all the time, and I'm gonna be mesmerized?
Maybe.
Who's the chick on the left?
That's Larson.
Oh wow!
Wow.
It's Bryant McKinney.
Wow.
What game is that?
Peter, you should grow your Caesar cut out again.
You think I can pull it off? My hair's too thin, I think.
You gotta try.
09 Monday night.
09, yep.
Yeah. I threw up about 12 hours later.
My hair's even longer right now than it was then. So I remember with that hat, you could just see everything coming out the sides.
Yeah.
Your face looks very smooth.
Oh yeah.
Is that Photoshop?
This is a recent, I started this 5 years ago. Yeah.
Me too.
But the thing is, the thing I'm always proud of, I can do it anytime. How long did it take you to grow your mustache, Bishop?
Almost 2 years.
Is that what that is?
Never. I'm on vacation here. Can you tell?
You're getting scruffy. Scruffily.
Look out! I'm coming for you, Jeremy.
Look out, ladies.
Tickle, tickle.
Do So we're going to talk about what it's been like to work in retail during this. What did I put down here?
Yeah,
These very trying times. Apparently, that's Brian Oak's favorite statement. These very trying times.
The new normal.
Yeah.
I cannot roll my eyes hard enough.
Yeah.
I can hear him.
Oh, yeah.
As a frontliner, I couldn't agree more. So me working in grocery retail over the last 4+ months, I would say that it went kind of in some different phases. I would say that, and sure a lot of people would agree that it was that phase of just pure kind of fright and uncertainty that people had, where they just clamored to get into the stores and stock up and go crazy. And for us at the retail level, like with the volume that we do, like that felt like Thanksgiving or Christmas kind of on steroids, right? Usually for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we're ready for that. And we know that business is coming, but it was really different for us because it came within the course of like 2 days of, public officials being, sending messages of, well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And then everybody I felt like in the weeks leading up to it was kind of teetering on the brink because they were buying some things, and especially, the masks and the rubbing alcohol and all of the kind of health needs they were buying already. But then it was, all right, now I'm going to buy canned corn like I've never bought canned corn before in my life. It was just really bizarre. And of course the toilet paper thing, right? And everybody was going crazy with cleaning products, toilet paper and whatnot. And we just were kind of furiously just trying to attend to that. And we didn't care if I was a foot away from a person or 6 inches away from a person. We just were kind of in this kind of high adrenaline level of let's get the job done.
Sure.
And then over the following weeks, things kind of, waned a bit, but nonetheless, all that uncertainty was still there. And you were starting to see different regulations come down, and we were closing schools and we were doing, workplace shifts and whatnot. And then that's when people kind of started to get a little more phobic about being close to each other and the social distancing. And then all of the policies kind of overlaid, internally with, how do we clean? How do we keep our employees safe? How do we keep the customers safe? And we started really taking on a lot of those kinds of policies and things like that. And all throughout, I would say, kind of the customers were, people were relatively civil, but they were also, you could see the fear in people. And then as, the kind of that big adrenaline rush came down, it was like all the employees, you could start to see they were starting to get a little more worried and scared because, it's not just, Thanksgiving or Christmas on steroids anymore. This is actually a real thing that we're going to have to deal with. So I feel really fortunate working for an organization that actually did a really great job with overlaying a lot of those pieces of safety for customers and employees. And we were really just kept in line with whatever, kind of the policymakers and the regulatory agencies said were the best recommendations, whether it be federal, state, or local. We followed that and have followed that still to this day to a T. And I'm grateful that we didn't go rogue and try to overdo it or certainly underdo it. We're whatever the CDC basically says or Minnesota Department of Health says is a good practice, we're following that. And we have been following that for, a bulk of the 4 months we've been doing this. So, but it's just been nonstop, sales, and people are buying heavy, but we're starting to see people relax a little bit more, and they're coming into the store more frequently than they did before. To put you some numbers to it, our sales have been up 25-30% in many cases in our stores, but our customer count at one time was down 40-50%. So people's carts were just enormous and huge and heavy. Their trips were fewer, but they were buying more each trip. So now we're starting to see things level off where the sales are still there, but people are making more trips into the store than ever before. But we're used to that. We understand that. It's kind of become part of our routine when you're 3-4 months in. But still the biggest thing hanging out there is the whole mask thing. That's what everybody loves to talk about. That's their number one favorite topic of choice, and that we should be mandating it, and others saying, I'm glad you guys aren't mandating it, blah, blah, blah. But now that we've seen, big retailers like Walmart and Target and all the big national chains, doesn't surprise me that we're going to be lockstep with that. Like, we basically 2 days later said, yep, we're doing it. But we're giving our customers like 2 weeks to figure it out. So the reason we didn't go right away, like Menards and some of the club places did, is because we're not a specialty retailer. We kind of consider ourselves a part of like the fabric of the community. This is a place that you kind of have to go to versus a place that you can not go to. You don't have to go to Menards to live. You don't necessarily have to go to Sam's Club or Costco to live, but you do need to go to the regular grocery store. So
yeah, and not everybody had masks early on either. So like, people have caught up too.
Yeah,
Jeremy, how's it been for you?
It's different. It's a different world. It's hard to describe. Like, because we still have to go to work, and and it just became this, like, we tried to follow the regulations, just like Schwartz was saying too. We require our employees to wear a mask. We don't require our customers to wear a mask. And I'd say the majority of our customers do wear masks, but you still have people that don't. You have people that just come up and stand right next to you and talk in your face, and it's like,
They're still doing that?
It's weird. I'm different. Like, I have been changed by, as a lot of people have, I'm sure. But it's so hard sometimes to deal with the daily grind of it. Like, we have to go in back and just have moments, and like, we've all talked as coworkers that, like, we never thought that, like, crying on a daily basis is just now a regular part of our thing. Like, just happens sometimes. Sorry, I'm just crying. I'll be okay. But yeah, no, like, it's hard. It's a
lot. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I truly appreciate working for the co-op, because we are all there together. Like, the people I work with, like, we've talked about this too, is like, I'm friends with everyone I work with there. Like, we all adore each other. And so it's nice at the same time as it's a hardship for us to have to go out in the public and work. Like, at least we get to see the people we like. Whereas other people
going through it together. Yeah.
Yeah. And people who are stuck at home, who want to see the people they like, I understand that stress. I understand. And I understand there's people who come in the co-op sometimes who just come into the co-op because that's where they used to come to hang out. Because we have a lot of people that just used to hang out there. And then we actually have a policy from our general manager now. Like, if you see someone hanging out too long, we walk up to them and say, we need you to shop and leave. Like, like, this isn't a social club. And we're only allowing 10 people in the store at a time, 10 shoppers in the store at a time among the employees too, because we're just a small store. Mm-hmm. But we got to get those people out, because sometimes we have people waiting in the parking lot and we're blocking them from coming in. And it's like, no, you can't. This isn't a hangout. You got to go get your stuff done. Other people are trying to come in. And it's been a weird experience, because
personally, I don't think I would have the patience for the people, like you were saying, the little old lady that would come up and be tapping you on the shoulder and asking where something, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't work customer service that way. I have done like support and phone calls and things like that, but that's not a person that's not in the middle of pandemic. So
yeah, it's just, it's stressful. And grocery workers have traditionally been seen as I don't know how to say this appropriately, but as lesser. Like, we're just the guys stocking shelves and stuff like that. Like, that's how people think of us in general. And so it's weird to be like, we were getting at the co-op, I don't know if Schwartz, if your company did it too, but we were getting hero pay for a little while. They call it hero pay from the government or whatever. And we were getting an extra $2 an hour, which was amazing. Like, it was great. But like, I don't consider us heroes, but like, I consider us deserving of that extra pay for being out there day to day. But it's weird that there's a lot of customers who don't see us as real people, like, essentially. They just see us as the shadow that's there putting stuff on the shelves.
Yeah, about 3 weeks into things, about the first week of April, we did issue a bonus to all employees in the organization. We didn't do the hourly rate increase, but we have since we've formulated a fiscal year-end bonus for all employees in some capacity, whether you were incentive comp based or not. If every employee stays on through the end of the fiscal year, which is basically October 1st, they do get at least 4% of their annual pay in bonus.
Oh, that's great.
make it through.
That's nice. Yeah.
An extra incentive, yes, definitely.
Have either of you guys had employees that have gotten sick yet or have been contracted COVID?
Or even needed time off just because of how much stress is going on or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so at one time at my location, again, I have like 110, 115 employees on my payroll. There were 22 employees on some sort of health-related personal leave because of COVID. And we were very loose. We opened up our leave policies much more broadly for them to just say, well, I'm just not comfortable and I'm not going to work. So, okay, we weren't going to object to that. They didn't have to have a stated health condition or, get a clinician to sign off on it. So some of those people have trickled back in, but I'm amazed at how easy it was for us to backfill a lot of those positions during even like the fever pitch times when it was really crazy. There were a lot of temporary workers we were able to hire to backfill that, not only the people who were gone, but also people who just wanted to work because we needed extra staff. It was pretty incredible how many actually did. And there were some really good people that we kept. So added bonus there. But no cases of COVID in my location. There are locations in our chain that did have cases. But again, kind of the policy we have in place is we have a really heavy contact tracing standard and also cleaning policy. Once we're informed that an employee has been ill or was near someone who was ill or exposed, whatever the case may be, we will go in immediately and clean all of the areas of the store where that person has been. And then also that person, of course, has to be out of the workplace for at least 2 weeks and get tested. And there's a whole bunch of other kind of criteria they have to meet before they come back.
Okay. Do you help people get tests? I just know I had a buddy that his dad had it, and he was hanging out with his dad, and it was a struggle for him to get tested. So I wasn't sure if can actually help, or the co-op will actually help coordinate that, especially given your your sort of frontline role through everything.
Up until stage 1 of reopening a few weeks ago in Minnesota, we were considered grocery store employees were considered the same as like health workers and stuff like that. So we were front of the line to get tests. So it wasn't harder. We were able to get tests if we needed them. Because I had several employees who just went to get tests, several coworkers who just went to get tests because they just wanted to know. And they are, they're front lined at some of the event centers and stuff like that where testing is going on. It's not so much now that we're in the process of reopening because there's so many other people that are, Best Buy is open now, like everyone is kind of being exposed. So I don't know what it's like now, but I know up until like 3 weeks ago, I had several coworkers who went to get tests and they got right through lines. Okay.
A lot of people took advantage of the free testing that was done specifically in the city of Minneapolis and city of St. Paul following a lot of the protests at the end of May, beginning of June.
Sure.
I know in my house I went and got a test just for the hell of it because I wanted to see how the process worked. And my wife has had a couple of tests throughout the whole thing, but we were giving more advice to our employees versus us actually providing direct resources that we were tied to. And everyone seemed to be able to figure it out, those who asked about it. Also, we're unionized, so the union has been a great asset in terms of providing information and resources to employees. So kind of a double barrel effort, which is really cool.
So how hard do they shove the cotton swab up your nose? I've heard it's I've heard it's intense.
It wasn't like even as bad as like a throat culture. I didn't think.
Right.
It only was one side that they did. Yeah. It wasn't as high as I thought they were going to go because I really braced myself. And she was like, that's it. That's it? Oh, sweet.
I've heard from another person that about like the rate of nosebleeds is almost like 50% with the test administration. Yeah. I don't know if
that might have been early on, but I think they've changed the test a little bit, so it's not quite so far up.
Yeah, because I heard some of the early tests, it was shoved way the fuck up there.
Yeah, like we're talking March, April. I feel like May, June, they got a little more mild with their testing for sure.
They shortened the stick a little bit.
Yeah, we want you to come and get tested. So yeah. we want decent Yelp reviews.
Speaking of which, 5-star rating for the podcast. 5 stars.
What just happened?
And here we played the ad. All right, we're back.
Okay, should we pause talking?
Yep. So do you guys have any? You guys lived together for a while up in what town was that again?
The Midge.
The Midge. Do you have any?
I like to call it the Midge.
It was rural Bemidji. It was not in the city. It was kind of country living.
Yeah, it was good. Shorts almost burned down a forest.
That's
Almost.
That story's awesome.
I'll never forget my nickname that I got from the neighbors, Smokey.
Smokey. I thought it was Sparky. Smokey.
Sparky.
Well, it was there were some that were Sparky. That's right, and then Smokey was another one.
Yeah, so we got. We'll tell the story real quick here. So we got a burn permit because it was super dry. There's fire warnings, but somehow we got a burn permit, and we're cutting down all these trees in the backyard. And I don't know why they gave us that burn permit. Like that was the dumbest. Like it's
because you were clearing land. Come on.
But I don't think it's our fault. I think it's their fault for giving us the burn permit. But yeah,
you give a kid a gun and he shoots somebody. That's on you. That's not on the kid.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we're talking about here.
But then the next part of my story might make it our fault, but we'll see. So we had the pile and Schwartz. What was her name that you were dating then? Was it Ashley or was it
Allegedly?
Yes, he's just making up
Amber,
girlfriends.
not Amber with an E.
Amber
with an A.
Ember. Yeah. At least I got the A right. I got the A names.
Fire.
So we burned the pile.
Sparky Ember. Yes.
And then we're out, hosing it down. But
Whoa.
we've been drinking a lot of whiskey.
This was after many fires. I will have to say we kind of came pros. We had our process down.
Yeah,
fires that went successfully.
We've done this before.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
we had Schwartz and I once walked into a fire and cut down a pine tree with a chainsaw. So we've got some skills. or some stupidity, however you want to believe it.
Your mom's shaking her head right now while she's listening to this.
And we watered out the pit. We went to bed. I wake up in the morning. It's like 9 a.m. and I look out the back and the pit, the fire pit's like smoking, but that's not uncommon. So I'm like, oh, everything's fine.
Still
I go and lay down on the couch. So I looked at it was in the backyard. So I looked at the back window, saw the smoke, the pit smoking, went up to the front, turned the TV on, put a movie on. Like an hour later, as I'm watching the movie, 2 fire trucks like drive across the front lawn, like out the window, not down the street, like across the front lawn. And I'm like, well, that's not good.
Even before that, though, we could hear the plane, like this kind of single engine prop plane, like circling around. Like, why does it keep coming back to our house?
Yeah, it just keeps flying overhead. And so I see the fire trucks go by. I go back and I look out the back window and I see the smoking pit and it's still just there smoking. And then I look to the right and it's just fire. And it's like less than 10 feet away from our gas tank. That's like all of the
propane
gas
tank?
for the house, the propane tank. And I'm like, wow, Jesus, like that's not good. And so I go and I pound on Schwartz's door and he answers the door. Like he just opens the door barely and he sticks his head around and I can tell like he's naked because he's just barely sticking his head around the door.
Well, it's 10:30 in the morning. Come on.
I can see his shoulder, so I know he's not got a shirt on, so I'm assuming he has no clothes on.
Amber was there.
Because Amber was there. And I'm like, there's a fire out back and there's fire trucks here. And he just like yell like OF or something like that and just slams the door. And I go out front and there's like fire trucks on the side of the house like spraying down the fire and there's a helicopter flying over just dropping like they were getting like those
buckets of water.
Yeah, the things of water, the huge bucket underneath the helicopter and just dropping the water. And
if somebody would have been videoing, they could have done like a fire, training video for the firefighters. Like everything was happening. All the equipment was in use. Everybody was, sprung to action.
Well, we lucked out because it was the plane that we had heard earlier. It was because that day they were doing a training. The fire department was doing a training exercise. So they had all the firefighters on duty that morning. And they had gone up in a plane from the airport, which the end of the airport runway was like right before the house we lived in. And they like went up and like looked down and there was just a yard on fire. And they're like, oh, we got to go down there. And so they like...
Live one.
circled a couple times and then like went back down and came. And then we're there and we were talking to the fire chief who had like the best handlebar mustache I've ever seen in my life. Like just it was a monster gray and black handlebar mustache.
Like for baseball fans out there, like Rich Gossage.
Yeah,
you can picture like late 70s, 80s handlebar mustache. So,
and, but yeah, so they're like getting it down, and he's like telling us that like the fire must have hit the roots underneath because there was just dirt between the fire pit and where the gas tank was. But he's like, well, there was still roots for the tree and stuff like that underneath there, and so the fire had spread through the roots underneath and then like lit up like next to the gas tank. But they had gotten it all down and they were like putting it out. And that while he's like telling me and Schwartz this, we had a wasp's nest in the garage, and like a wasp came down and literally stung me in the eye as we were talking. And so Schwartz and the fire guy are like looking at me, and I literally just slapped my face so hard that my glasses fly like 10 feet away because a wasp just stung me in the eye.
And then I believe that the fire chief's line right after that was, I shouldn't have given you guys that permit.
Yeah. No shit.
Immediately regret that.
He was the one that issued it.
And then, they just had a guy, like, there was just a young firefighter in our backyard for like 4 more hours, just slowly like shoving his axe in the dirt to make sure there was no more fire burning underneath the ground. So they didn't leave, and just fire restarts back up and we all die.
Than me feeling probably as defeated as I've ever felt in my life over one particular thing that I've done. I just didn't know what else to do other than to contribute by grabbing the garden hose and starting the garden hose and just spraying for the next couple of hours, just every little piece of dirt in the yard.
Right. You were out there forever too. That's right. You were out there with the hose.
Defeated, hungover, probably needed to start drinking again, but I didn't. That probably would have been a good idea. Just spraying back and forth. Didn't want to talk to him.
We drank a lot of whiskey that night before. Like, I think that's the most we drank in Bemidji.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's probably not true, but
that's saying something.
I'm not going to buy that.
It's probably the most we drank in Bemidji, other than our last night in Bemidji, which that's another. Yeah.
Was that a Jim Beam Saturday?
Top 5?
No, that was
a Friday night into a Saturday. We were drinking away the work week prior.
Yeah.
So
that's when we took your coworkers out and you actually drank with your coworkers for the first time. That were all like kids. And you kept talking.
Really
allegedly.
Schwartz kept talking about the movie.
Watching a couple of our neighbors come over, and not only were people like kind of had this sense of consolation for us, like, oh man, I'm glad you weren't hurt, and it could have been worse, blah, blah, blah. There still were a couple of neighbors that were not very passive aggressive and said, the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
He just dropped it right on me. I'm like, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Well, we got rid of that brush that was out there. That brush is gone now.
Yeah.
Just tell those neighbor kids.
New life will spring from this. New life will spring. Yes. So
handle that stuff now.
Well, the only area we really burned was the area we were taking down. So in the end, we didn't hurt our environment any.
It was a good training.
Any property incredibly. It was just my property.
Yeah.
Just an extreme use of government resources to
to manage that.
Well, don't bring that up.
It sounded okay up to this point.
Those guys needed practice.
Yeah. It was controlled.
It was they were all there for training exercises. They were all punched in. We gave them some some real life training exercises.
They saw it from the plane and like, oh my God, this is happening.
Real life.
We'll do this.
We don't just have to talk about scenarios. Let's go deal with one.
And then they were like engine 1, 2, 3, helicopter 1. All of the resources came. Quick response.
Impressive.
So
thank
you, Minnesota DNR.
That when those fire trucks just drove across the yard, like that's still always like my streets of memory, because fire trucks, and I was like, why are fire trucks driving across the yard? And then looking out the back window and being like, oh,
our yard.
I better wake up Schwartz.
Neighbor's yard. Our yard.
Our yard is on fire.
Yeah, fuego. Yeah, and then like 2 days later, the way we kind of resolved it with them, we had to kind of make it good with the DNR, right? And of course, there was going to be some sort of restitution that lied with my responsibility. The chief, the handlebar mustache guy, and another chief kind of showed up. I don't know if he was the big guy. They just agreed, like, all right, we're gonna split the costs on this. How about that? And I'm like, sold, done.
It was just the helicopter, I think, wasn't it, Schwartz? It was just the helicopter that they made you split the cost.
Basically.
It wasn't the whole incident. It was just the helicopter was expensive.
It was in the hundreds of dollars cost. So I was like, that was just fine with me.
Did you give them extra $100 to take a ride?
Yeah.
Did you ask for a discount because you brought your hose out and you hosed it down a little bit?
Yeah, right.
When doesn't Schwartz bring his hose out?
I logged it.
I'm using his words.
Yeah, logged it.
Sorry, Schwartz. I just told that whole story for you there.
Beautifully shared experiences of my sister being verbally
praised,
utilized over the years, and
not the word I go with, but okay.
Yeah. Wow. And then self-inflicted forest fire. So two great stories.
Yeah, it's been a good run.
There was, as I mentioned earlier, that there was that time that we had the fire pit in the front yard, and Corey was there, and it hit the pine tree in the front yard. We mistakenly put it too close, and the pine tree just went up in seconds, straight up.
This was before or after?
This is before the forest fire.
This is before.
And so Schwartz and I go literally into a burn pile. Like, there's burning stuff all around us, and he's got the chainsaw and he's cutting the tree so we can push it into the burn pile, and I'm just pushing on the tree as he cuts into the tree with a chainsaw. So I basically have a chainsaw at my belly as he's cutting into a tree.
That's on fire.
Corey, the tree's on fire. We're standing in the edges of a burn pile, and Corey is just over on
the burn pile because if the fire keeps going up, it's going to grab the other trees that are peripheral.
Sure.
And if we push it any other way than the burn pile, it's going to hit the trees too. And then it's just going to be like tree after tree after tree after tree after tree. And so we're in the burn pile. I remember I had these huge thick gloves on, and I'm just pushing on the tree, and Schwartz has got these gloves on, and he's just chopping into the tree. And Corey is standing over on the driveway, and he's like, I've dialed 911. I'm ready to push the other one, depending on what happens.
At the ready. Nice.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys living with each other. That
was even
a bad idea.
Dream for an experted Bemidjiite as Corey Meyer, my friend in Bemidji. That was a lot. Jeremy and I were pushing the limits.
Yeah. Well, I'm just an idiot, and I know you came from Bemidji, but you had become Schwartz by then. You're a grocery guy. Neither one of us should have been doing the things we were doing. That's all I'm trying to say. I mean, you probably had a little bit better experience with it than I did, but I have no idea. I've never done any of that stuff before.
We were a little uncertain of the risk reward ratio. When it came to burning fires / lumberjacking, good cutting and landscaping of rural properties. So
Jeremy just really liked the flannel mostly.
Well, I finally fit in. It was nice.
And it fit his manly frame well.
Oh yeah, and we got quite a bit of street cred in Bemidji for some of our achievements here. I mean, maybe the fire not so much. They draw the line somewhere, but it was more of the other maneuverings that we had to get the property clear.
Local legend status?
Kind of, yeah.
The Burning Men?
We got compliments from the neighbors.
Yeah,
some of them.
We cleaned that yard out good.
Cleaned it good.
Did you have to disclose what you did when you sold your place?
Was that
almost lit it on fire? Yeah.
Oh, that was not in my disclosure.
Okay.
I mean, I'll say that now because the statute of limitations, I believe, is about 15.
Arbitration is usually 5 years or something, so you're good.
Well, what about the bodies Jeremy buried underneath your basement?
They didn't have a basement.
There was one, no basement.
Well, that's where the bodies were.
Old man, we were a double wide. Gotcha. There's no basement in a double wide.
Well, the nice ones there are.
It's quality.
hated. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. On the bitch you hated, filth infatuated. Yeah. On the plate you tasted, fell intoxicated. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter.